So hopefully you can all hear me. If somebody can hear me and see me, please type something into the chat room. And we'll just wait a couple minutes for people to show up. It says private. Let's see here. Okie doke. Can somebody hear me? I can't hear you, love bug. Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll just start off by saying congratulations to those who have shown up. Showing up anywhere is a huge part of success. So I'm glad you're here. And I see Sharon and Sunny and Linda and Mark and Beth and Francis. And well, why don't we start by you guys start telling me hi, Patrick. A lot of people are showing up. Two things. One is I might have you raise your hand and do something and do it right where you are if you can. You're at home and I say, hey, how many people do this? Put your hand up. Get involved while you're here and be engaged and participate. But what I'd like to find out first is where you're all from. So let's see where people are from. Hi, Jim. Hi, Al. Hi, Mark. So if you would tell me some of the locations that we have from around the world, that would be nice. And I'll wait. Hi, Damien. If I don't, sometimes because of the number of people, it screws pretty quick. So if I don't catch you, I apologize, and we'll try and come back. Sweden, Patrick from Sweden, Paul from Los Angeles. All right, awesome. Speed it up. What does that say? Oregon, Boston, Philadelphia, Indiana, Sweden again, Sussex, England, Colorado. From Massachusetts, cool. California again, Baton Rouge, Boca Raton, Baton Rouge, New York, Glasgow. Awesome, around the world. Very cool. I'm so happy you're here. Again, I'm so happy. This, right now, today, this is the first webinar for this program, How to Change Your Thoughts and Transform Your Life. And what's important about that is that you are enrolled in the program, so it's for you. And you got the program as a gift, and you got the support group. The support group is a limited gift, but you got the support group for time being, and this webinar is included in the program. So Milwaukee, excellent. More California, Dayton, Washington, Oregon again, fantastic. So hello everyone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of recap what went on in session 1. And add to that, as well as what I'd like to do is then add in a little bit of more information. I'm going to give you an exercise, tell you about some other things. But I should say that I'm Rex Sikes. You might already know me, but if you don't, if this is the first time you're seeing me other than in the program, I've spent the past 4 decades helping thousands of people actually transform their lives, get their goals, and make what they want to make happen in their life. Through a variety of means. I've been teaching webinars, not webinars, but seminars for literally 40 years. Now, I've taught thousands all over the world, mostly in live events. The online thing is still pretty new to me too. If it's new to you, it's new to me. I have appeared before millions of people on radio and TV. I've done events where I've presented for people 10,000, 20,000 at a time. I prefer groups of under 100, groups like 50 people, because what I like is the one-on-one interaction. I like to be able to coach. I like to be able to mentor. I like to be able to get to know people personally and to be able to guide people, not from the front of the room, but from the experience of being together. What I do is I present, but then I interact. And a coach can only coach, you can't coach 800 people. You just can't do that by yourself. Because it means, but what's nice is the technology has gotten so that we can do more of, even though we're not in person, we're able to connect in a variety of ways. Now, this is Webinar Jam, and you're in the chat room. We're going to do some other Zoom events and things like that where you have the opportunity to be on video as well, if you choose. But my point is that I like the one-on-one connection. I like the engagement. I like the interaction. If you're in the support group, and if you're here in the webinar today, what I want you to do is I want you to engage. I want you to interact. I want you to leave comments in the chat room, but also leave comments in the course. If you're going through session 1, leave comments, what you're discovering, what you're finding good new, what you're grateful for. Leave comments in the support group as well. Now, I've gone through and I've said hi to most people in the support group. I may have missed a couple. I've tried to answer questions in the support group. So it's important that you go through and you read what's going on in the support group as well, because the answer may be something that you've been thinking about, but you didn't ask the question, someone else did. And also, when you engage and interact and you contribute by leaving comments and insights and the things you're grateful for, it uplifts everybody. It's that rising tide, lifts the boat and everyone in it. And so that's really the point of it. Now, I gave you an exercise when you signed on to the program and signed into the support group to post 3 positive messages a day in the support group. And there's a reason for this. There's a method to the madness. When we try to change, when we attempt to change, when we transform ourselves, we want to overcome our comfort zone, the inertia, and we want to do something that we don't normally do. And if you haven't posted in my group, but if you're not used to doing this, then it's important to do it. I've been teaching this stuff, since the 70s, essentially, and it's funny because I used to get criticized in my programs. We would teach people we would have people dance and laugh and play. We'd send them out to roll down hills and to spin like a top, like a whirling dervish. We would meditate. We'd do body work. We'd do laughing meditations, and we did all sorts of things that were fun. We did cross crawling. And everybody at the time, in the 70s and the 80s particularly, even into the 90s, would go, you're not taking this seriously. This is goofy. This is fun and games. And guess what? Now all the big boys and girls, the thought leaders all over the world, are doing these very same things in their programs. And I've attended some of their programs, and I see the stuff that we did way back when that nobody was doing it, and now they're doing it. So that you get the value of it. And so expressing gratitude in my NLP practitioner programs, at the end, I would tell people, 1, find good and new throughout the day, all the time, whenever you can. Look for what is good and what is new. And the second thing was of many actually, was to do a list of 25 things that you're grateful for every night before you went to bed. And the first morning that, I mentioned that, people are like, are you 25 things? I can't, and they just, do I have to? I go, just try it. Just do it. Write them down. Make a list. After 2-3 days, they go, could we do more than 25? I'm like, of course you can do more than 25. It's just a guideline, but it's the point that you have to grease the wheel. If you want to make a change, you actually have to make a change. You can't sit and do the same things and wish to be different and expect to be different. Transformation is an interesting thing, and while sometimes it's instant, it's really not an event. It's truly more of a process. And we are living, we are people, we are processes. We're not events. We're not circumstances. So engage, communicate with other people, act in your own best interest, help each other out, go the extra mile, contribute, because when you do, you get it back. In other words, think about it. You get into, and I'm not telling you to help people's problems. I'm not trying to tell you to answer or solve or be a change agent or anything. I'm telling you to engage and post your insights. And it's in fact, it's best not to try and help people in a group, even though it's a support group, because we want people to be able to sit and begin to figure out what it is they need to do without rushing to their aid. It's hard for me to read. Oh, okay. It says, I do crawling with students sometimes since I listened to training from you a long time ago. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Very, very cool. I appreciate that. So, the point is that this is a chance for us to have some personal contact and to make learning both fun and easy, and to begin making changes. And if you do a little bit each day, like post 3 times, it's like that trickle of water going down the mountainside that ultimately becomes a river. Or one of my favorite sayings is, drop by drop, the tub fills. So, you want to do something a little bit every day. That's easy, that you win, and that's possible for you to do. So the other thing while you're here is to take notes. So I'm going to have you write things down. I may not always say it, but I want you to take notes. And when you take notes, I've told you this in the pre-video. So the way the program is set out is there's a welcome video, then there's what we call the pre-exposure video, and then there's some sessions. By the way, that exposure video where I'm sitting against the back, I was as sick as could be when we recorded it. I was horribly sick. I don't get sick very often, but I was sick that day, and we had scheduled to record. So I said, well, let's just do it. And hopefully it doesn't show. This is the first time I've ever fessed up to being sick. But so take notes. And in the chat room, please don't do any side chatter. Don't have conversations going on that would take you away from what's occurring here. So stay focused, and we'll stay on topic. And again, congratulations for being here and for showing up. And the free gift, the class, by the way, just so you know, is still free. It will be for a while. But you can invite other friends of yours and family or people you know to enroll in the program and to get in the support group while they can. That's fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm doing house cleaning right up front, that way. And we're going to dive into this material. And so the point of this is to tell you to engage, be active, because you have to be. You have to be your own best advocate. You have to act in your own best interest, and you have to act for yourself if you want to make things happen. People, and it's an erroneous thing. Well, and it's a caveat. It's things don't happen to you. You make things happen. Is the way you need to begin to think about it. And too many people have grown up thinking that things happen to them. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't an external world. There's an external world, perhaps, because in terms of the way we interact with it, we're creating our external world too. We're paying attention to certain things and not others. And I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far, but I want to say the best way to think about this is to take responsibility for being a creator and assume responsibility for everything that happens, good or bad. Does that mean you actually created it? Maybe not. But if you assume that you created it, and you don't look for the whole how or the reasons or any of that, and you don't go down the rabbit hole about, beating yourself up and I'm not good enough or I'm dumb because I did this. If you forget all that, just say, if I created it and I created this mess, then I can create the way out of the mess. In other words, what it does is it makes you more resilient and more powerful and more flexible because it gives you choice. It gives you choice that you wouldn't have otherwise had, because the other way you live is as a victim. You live by default. You live as somebody who, like a cork on the water, however the water's bobbing, that's what you're doing. And in fact, if that were the case, however the water were bobbing and you were moving around, you still have choice in terms of how you respond to where you're bobbing and where you're going and what's happening and whether you're bobbing too much or too little or too fast or too slow. You have the ability to choose how you respond. The reason why that most people don't, and they whine and they blame and they complain and they accuse and they excuse and they come up with all sorts of reasons about why things aren't working, is because of conditioning, and it's a habit, and it's old audio tapes, it's old movies in their head, and it's old feelings that are all anchored. They're all there. They're literally habits of thought, of feeling, of speech, of behavior. And you're none of those. You're truly none of those. When you show up, you don't have any of those. When you show up, you're this little blank slate. You're like a lump of clay. You haven't been sculpted into anything. And then slowly but surely, we get sculpted into the person we are with behaviors and habits and thoughts and feelings and everything. That's why, 30, 40 years ago, we were saying you think 65,000 thoughts a day, and upwards of 90% of those thoughts are the ones you think today and yesterday and the day before and the day before. And that's why there's not much new in the way of people thinking, because they're constantly replaying their history. They're replaying the sounds and the voices in their head. They're playing memories. They're not coming up with new stuff. I mean, they may be making new memories because of going through life, but and different people have had different ways to describe it. Like you have a filing cabinet in your head or your computer or any number of things. But You're not your thoughts, you're not your behaviors, you're not your feelings, and you're not what you say you are. You're something beyond that. And those things are things that you use to guide you, that separate being, that entity, through this experience. And depending on how you condition that in the first place, will determine what you see, what you pay attention to, what you say, how you feel, and the kind of results that you get. And so this is an opportunity to change that, to shift that if you so choose, because it's always going to be up to your choosing, and to do something different so that you can transform yourself and learn a new way of being. If you're a person who mostly gets crap in your life, you can become a person who gets mostly good stuff. If life is just okay for you, you can make it much more exquisite and exciting and wonderful. If you're struggling with money, you can find that you can create prosperity and abundance in ways that you might never have thought you could. But in order to do that, you have to give yourself permission to entertain that as a possibility. You have to think about it differently. In other words, if you want to change your life, you have to change some things in your life. And we're going to talk a lot about that. There's a whole lot of stuff. I made notes earlier today, so I'm going to look at it from time to time. I don't normally do this, but I wanted to make sure that I piggybacked on some things and make sure that I addressed some stuff. So I've been helping people for 40 years and to succeed and to be happy and to change and transform their life. And so the question that a lot of people would ask is, does everybody change and succeed that you've ever interacted with or helped? Yeah, a large part of them. They're never the same once they meet me. But does everybody succeed in getting what they want or doing what they would wish to do or having what they want? No, probably not. I don't know. I mean, I can't give you a number, but the point is this, is if you do what you're instructed to do in the program, you can succeed, you can be happy, you can connect more with people, you can have more money and do incredible things. But if you don't do it, if you quit along the way, then the answer would be no. And there are probably people who have quit along the way for a variety of reasons. They get distracted, they fall back into old patterns, they try too hard, too fast, too quick, and then get frustrated because things aren't happening in their time frame, and they give up. And I'm fond of saying, if you're going to run a marathon, if you quit anywhere along the way and you don't cross the finish line, you didn't complete the marathon. So if completing a marathon is important to you, you have to stick with it. The people who do succeed and who are happier and healthier as a result of my teaching, my programs, my sharing throughout the years are those who stayed with it and did it for themselves. I didn't do it for them. I'm not doing it for you. I'll share with you things that you can do. And if you take that and do it, you can have incredible results. You can skyrocket your results and blow yourself completely away in a really positive way with the good things that can happen. But again, you got to give yourself permission to believe that that's possible. Because if you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to do it. You're not going to try. See, it's an interesting little caveat. It's a little trick. When people come to this stuff, if they don't think they're going to succeed, it's likely that they won't. So the first thing they need to transform is that thought that they're not going to succeed into one that, while I might not succeed, it's possible I could. In other words, I don't have to constantly fail. I might learn something different. I could discover a new way of being. Though I've been stuck for all these years, I can begin to find ways to loosen that reality, that grip that I have on myself, and I can try different stuff. And I don't care who you are, whatever you try at first may be difficult and it may frustrate you and you may think, this isn't worth it, I'm going to give up, I'm going to quit. But regardless of what it is, if you stay with it and it's positive and good for you, I want to throw that in there, and it's legal, you'll get better at it. It'll get easier. The more you do, the more you become capable of doing. Correct repetition long enough will get you where you want to go. If you commit to it, you're consistent, and you do it for a long enough period of time, and then you'll develop the habit. It'll become an unconscious, reliable skill, and you want to become an unconscious, reliable manifestor, creator of your life, not a victim of your life, not a passenger in the backseat of the car of your life. You want to be in the driver's seat. You want to take charge, and you want to take full and complete responsibility and hold yourself accountable, so that if you created a mess, you go, wow, look at the mess I created. Okay, well, what do I want to create instead? Obviously, I don't want the mess. What do I want? And then create the solutions and create the things that you enjoy, create the things that you like. And come from your place of power, come from a place of at cause. You need to think like you're a sculptor and you have clay. How does a sculptor, what was the process with a sculptor? They have to be inspired. They have to have an idea of what they're going to sculpt or what they're going to create. That may come from a question like, what do I want to create? What do I want to do? What would be fun? What would be exciting? What needs to be done? Okay, well, it probably comes from a question. This is why I talk so much about directed questions and directing your mind, and where you focus and what you get is based on where you focus much of your time, or the preponderance of your time. Energy goes where your attention flows. So you're the creator, you're the sculptor. You now decide, oh, I want to sculpt like the statue of David, or I want to make a clay pot. I want to throw a pot. Now you have to gather you've made the decision. You've been inspired. You made the decision. Now you have to take action. You have to gather your tools. You have to get the lump of clay. You might need a potter's wheel. You're going to have to get your hands dirty, but then you're going to sculpt the clay, and you're going to make it. You're going to shape it. You're going to fashion it. You're going to do things that make it happen. And then when you're done, what is now the clay pot or cup or sculpture didn't exist before except as a thought. Now it's a tangible, real thing. So what you sowed, what you decided to do, is now what you're reaping. You have created something, and you have to think more about being a creator. Like, I'm a sculptor of my life. I'm a sculptor of my experience. I'm the sculptor of, as opposed to like I'm an attractor, or I'm a victim. You have to think in terms of, I create, and I create every moment of every day. I'm creating this experience right now. I'm sorry, it's very hard. It's hard for me to see the chat room, actually. I want to make sure that I pay attention to it. How many have had experience, because I did. There was a long portion of my life, up until I was like 25, where I was a victim of circumstance. I wasn't I ultimately ended up going, wow, I've created a lot of crap in my life, dog shit or diamonds. I created a lot of crap. Who's created crap in their life? Who's willing to admit it? Say, I did. I have. And if you have, you can put it in the chat room, go, yes, that's what I used to do. Because that's the point. It's what you used to do. Now you have the opportunity to do things differently and to do things new. There you go. I do, Paul. Yep. I know. Oh, yep, Damien. Yep. I mean, in other words, we've all done it. There's no shame in, yeah. See, there's no shame in having done it. We all do. Me too, Sharon. Yeah. So, admit it, get over it, and now claim to do something else. Yeah, and then make it a thing that you used to do in your past. See, if you want to create, what you need to do is you need to decide you can create, keep doing it. You can keep doing it. Hey, Sunny, that's it. You can keep doing it. But what you need to do is you need to become certain that you can change just a little bit. You want to. Oh, I want to end. Here's the other thing. How many of you have heard the thing of massive action? You need to take massive action in order to overcome and change. And I want to tell you that that's a lot of BS. It's good once in a while, you don't want to live on adrenaline. You don't need to take massive action. What you need to do is learn to do little things that allow you to make massive change little bit by little bit. In other words, you want to set yourself up to win all along the way. It's like somebody posted on Facebook, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Yeah, but you have to keep taking the steps, okay, in order to do the thing. And it's how you journey. You don't jump 1,000 miles. You walk the 1,000 miles. So it's not enough to take massive action. Massive action is, like I said, good in some cases. It's about getting over inertia and getting out of our comfort zone and creating a momentum in a positive forward movement. And the way you do that is to create wins for yourself. It's kind of like you set out to run the marathon, and probably halfway through, if you think, I can't do this, I'm not going to do this, you're not going to do it. You may need to take a little bit of massive action at that moment, but you could also be really worn out. So maybe you have to slow down a little bit, get some water, and just keep walking, and walk slowly but steadily. Your massive action may not work. You may give a burst and then, and sprint and then collapse. So you walk steadily to the end. And as you get closer and closer to the finish line, you start feeling better and better and better, because the finish line is in sight. You can see that you're getting nearer. And it's the same way with when we create things in our life and we make things happen, or we set goals and we accomplish our goals or achieve them, is that the closer we get to it, the more exciting it becomes, because we're at the culmination of all that stuff that we put into motion. But it doesn't require that you try and leap the way there. It's not an event that is going to change you. It is going to be the consistent, constant application of the tiny little things you do every day. If today you said, I'm going to clean my entire house, I'm going to get it done this week, that could be massive action. And you might do it. And you might do it once. Do you really want to do it another time? And the answer is probably no. Right? But there are people who do that. I mean, we get motivated at some point, go, I'm going to do all this. Right? But if you do the little things every day that keep your house clean, you'll maintain that. So if after getting the house clean, you want to maintain it, you're going to have to daily do things. And as far as the creator goes, and as far as an attractor goes, what I want to point out is your dishes don't get cleaned by themselves. You either do it, or you pay somebody to do it, or you got a dishwasher, but somebody still, if you're the boss of the family, you order your kids to do it, or your partner does it. But my point is, they don't get done by themselves. You don't sit in your room and go, clean dishes, oh, clean dishes. I am a channel for clean dishes. I am an open vessel for clean. It's not going to happen. Okay. If you want clean dishes, you got to clean the dish. Okay. And this is a very important part that most people miss. And so I want to keep you focused on that. You're a creator. You have to act like a creator. If you want to build a house, you have to think out the house, get the plans together, get the tools and the materials together, and then build the home. And when you're done, you stand back and go, look what I've accomplished. And that's truly what the law of attraction is about. The difference is that with the law of attraction, what you're doing is you're aligning your thoughts and your feelings and your words and your behaviors all in one way, and aiming it at what it is that you want and who you want to be and what you want to do and what you want to have, in such a way that you vibrate higher, you feel better. And when you do that, you naturally attract people who find you attractive. And I don't mean sexually attractive, although that may be. But what I'm saying is they find you more attractive because you're a high vibe person. You attract like-minded people. You attract the kind of people who can be a benefit to you. And you tend to attract the circumstances and the events in the same way. There is a certain magical quality to it when you are vibing high. Okay. But it's not magical because you're still doing it. You are putting that into motion. That's why I say when you throw a boomerang comes back, not a teacup. You get out what you put, you get back what you put out there. When you stand in front of a mirror and smile, the mirror smiles back because it reflects who you are in this present moment, not someone who might be months from now. Okay. So who you are right now is the determining factor for what's going on in your life. And if your life isn't the way you want it to be right now, accept responsibility for creating it that way, whether by default or on purpose or whatever. But you say, you know what, I'm responsible for my life. It's not that you're a bad person or that you're stupid or dumb or any of that stuff. So eliminate that, release it, let it go. That's not the point. The point is you're a very powerful creator. You just created things you didn't want. You created situations that you don't want. I've done that for at least a quarter of my life. All right. And even since then, I've created some things that come along and I'm like, whoa. And you know what? But I found that in believing that they're blessings and not, I don't go, whoa anymore. But the point is by recognizing that it's an opportunity or a blessing now, it's kind of like I've created something so that I can go the next step. I've created something that I'm not even aware of that I need yet. So again, about the program, why am I not giving you like handouts or, fancy graphics and things like that? Because I want you to do the work. I want you to dive deep. When you watch these videos, don't watch them one time, watch them again. The best way to learn anything is to repeat it within 24 hours. I'm going to have an exercise for you before we end. And it's going to be a 24 or 48 hour exercise. So I want you to pay close attention. But you review in, say, 24 hours, then you review in 72 hours, then you review it within a week. One of the great things about these audio and video is you can put it on and listen to it in your car. You can listen to it daily, and I would encourage you to do that. If you find it inspiring and uplifting and you like the messages, then repeat it. Don't try and rush through all the videos. That's not important. What's important is to imbibe it and to savor it and to really make it your own. Use it daily, so that you've got a couple of relaxation audios in the program in conjunction with them. Listen to this like before you go to bed or while you're sleeping. Put it on in the background. Put it on wherever you can so that the messages seep in, because you'll hear different things different days depending on where you are as a person on that different day. What you're hearing today won't be what you hear a week from now or a month from now or 5 years from now. You'll hear so much more in the future because you will have changed and transformed in that future, and your sensibilities and what you practice and what you make your own will have changed, and then you'll see and discover other things. That's why the more you do, the more you become capable of doing. So if something seems tough or difficult now, it's going to be a piece of cake. It's going to be easy. You're going to find it incredibly fun, and you're going to be able to do it without thinking about it, because it becomes you become unconsciously competent with it. It becomes a reliable automatic habit. And that's how you want creating to be. You're already creating. See, it's not whether you are or not. You're already creating, attracting. It's what you want to aim it at, and learning how to aim it. That is what's important. So, and again, a lot of people don't realize they're creating. So the very first step is to become aware of the fact that you create your reality, you create your circumstances, you create your events, even if they're coming haphazardly from the outside. You create your reaction or your response to it. It comes from your conditioning. It comes from everything you learned growing up. You didn't arrive with it, but you now have it, and you respond from it. And in order to have things differently, you have to change how you're reacting and how you're responding, and how you view and accept what's going on in the world and your place in the world and who you are. So the key is to realize that if you want to manifest your best life and create it and transform yourself, you have to transform who you are from somebody who is a victim or the passenger or helpless or an observer to somebody who is actively a powerful, positive creator, and who creates good things for oneself and for others. That is who you are. That is your purpose. That is your mission, is to have abundance and to deserve and to have love and to have peace and to have kindness and all sorts of good things. So it's recognizing the kind of person you are more than what you want to have. Because I want a career, I want a car, I want a house, I want a girlfriend, I want a boyfriend, I want a new stereo, I want to write a book, I want to do this, that, and the other. Those are the things that you do and have. But who you are determines how easily and readily you get those things. Because if you're the kind of person who can manifest, then you will. And there's, I have a number of programs. I have the Mind Design program, the Tesla program about visualizing, and different things. I'm going to be doing a Napoleon Hill program. There's a Let It Go program. I'm just mentioning it. The reason I say that is because I talk a lot about Napoleon Hill and Edwin C. Barnes, and I talked about that he went to see Edison, and he wanted to be a partner with Edison, and in his mind he was a partner with Edison, and he showed up. He had a certainty. He didn't obviously have that reality yet, but he had the certainty that come what may, he was going to be the partner of Edison. He had the belief that he would do this someday, and that Edison and he would be partners. And it happened. And it happened in an unlikely way for him, but it happened because he spent about 5 years being a janitor, just sweeping the thing up. And then one day, Edison was looking for somebody who could sell a dictaphone that nobody wanted to sell. They didn't like the product. Barnes said, I can do that. He seized the opportunity, and then Edison made him a partner, and he retired a very wealthy man. And the point being is that he knew what he wanted, and he knew what he was capable of, and he knew that he could be a partner, and he was certain it was going to happen. He was certain that he was Edison's partner. That just experience hadn't caught up with it yet. So it is developing a faith that you can do what you want to do. If you sit here and go, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can ever juggle. Then why would you ever start? Most people don't. If you think it's going to be hard, then it's probably going to be hard. If you think there's a possibility that I could juggle, there's a possibility that I could be the world's best juggler, and I'm going to try and find out. Well, then you're ahead of the game. So you got to believe in yourself, and you have to have the certainty and the faith that you are going to take the steps and the actions. And if you get derailed anywhere along the line, you just get back on. If that journey of 1,000 steps, you sit down, you take a break, or you get distracted, or there's a detour, or you fall off a cliff, you just get back up and you just keep walking toward your thing. And it goes back to the little things that you do that will make an incredible difference. So you don't have to have it all at once. It's not going to be something for most people that just boom, overnight, everything is going to change. It's going to be a process, because that's what the process is. And there's a two-tiered thing to the process. One is letting go and releasing what was, and getting rid of what I've mentioned before is unconscious, unwanted, parasitic movements that get in the way. Those are the things when baby tries to feed itself, and it over moves. And ultimately what it's doing is it's refining, it's getting rid of all of the extraneous movements to take, that spoon and finally get it into its mouth. So it's eliminating the parasitic movements. At the same time, it's learning to direct the muscles and direct the behavior. And so that's what this process is about. You learn to let go of the things that hold you back. You learn to let go of the self-criticism and the self-doubt and the frustration and the perfectionism and the procrastination, all those things, and all the excuses and reasons and whys and the blames. And you hone it to become more of who you want to be, and then what you want to do and what you want to have. It's going to be the little things. And you want to understand that it's about process, and it's not about perfection. I mean, that's truly an important thing. So I'm going to recap, and I do this purposely, and we'll go, but the idea that you're a sculptor, you are the creator, and you're choosing to create something wonderful for yourself because you are a wonderful creator, and you're certain that you can do it. And if you're not sure you can do it, you're certain you can learn to do it. You can engage in the process, and you can get it going. And given enough time and enough practice and enough experience, you're going to learn how to do it. And even if your first couple sculptures are really pretty less than what you hope, the more you stick with it, the better you'll get with it. Okay. So you get an idea, get an inspiration, probably off of a question of what is it that you want. You make the decision that you're going to do it. You collect your materials and your tools, and then you take action. You put it into action. You actually create the vase, the vase, the teacup, the pot, the sculpture. You create it, and you take responsibility for what is now there. You now reap what you sow. There's no excuses. There's no wishing. There's no hoping. It's a process of creating something. Clear? That makes sense? If it does, say yes, that makes sense. I was negative to avoid being disappointed. I do declare something I use. Yes, a lot. Should I have? Massive action, yeah. And I've heard do less more often. Exactly. In other words, don't just do something, sit there sometimes. Sometimes that's the best action that you can do, is to sit and do nothing. Other times you want to do something and not just sit there. And wisdom dictates that you know what. The secret, take action is where the difference is, where this is different than the secret. Yes. And I make sense. Thank you. Yes, it makes sense. Yes. Well, it does, because but the thing is that people see things like The Secret, and it's not just action. You have to understand how this works together. But action seems like the secret sauce, and it certainly is, because you're not going to sit here and like I said, get your dishes, cleaned or your sculpture made. Okay. But an attitude is a huge part of it. Your attitude, you need to activate your attitude. The attitude that says, I can do anything, I can learn anything, I am a master creator, I am at cause, I'm the creator of the universe, I'm the creator of my universe. If a problem comes, I can overcome it. You know, I've talked about Tony Robbins, there are no weeds, there are no weeds, there are no weeds. And it's not that's not positive thinking. By the way, people say things like positive thinking. You might get disappointed if you think positive. Like, I will fly the plane, I will fly the plane. And if you don't, you'll be disappointed. That's not positive thinking. Positive thinking is based in reality. I can learn to fly the plane. If I have the opportunity, I will do it. I will do everything I can in order to take lessons so that I can fly a plane, or I can learn to dance. I can learn to sew. I can learn to sing. I can learn to make money. Most people want money, but they don't bother to learn how to make money. You know, they've been taught, go get a job, you know, right out of college, get a job, hopefully in how you study, and then they don't, you know. Or they want a career, and then they depend on, you know, like, I'm an actor, right? So I want the producer to discover me because we hear these stories. They're not going to, that happens once in a while, but also, you know, there's a huge myth machine, the PR machine in Hollywood. So they were discovered. Most of the people who are stars today, if you look at their IMDb credits, have been at it for 10 or 20 years. The overnight success in Hollywood is 15 to 20 years. If people go to Hollywood with the attitude, well, I'll try it for a year or two, and believe me, in my life of being in Hollywood, that's what people do. They go, I'll try it for a while, and if it doesn't work out, I'll do something else. You can't do that if you want to have the career. At least in Hollywood, you might get lucky, but you might not. You got to create your own luck first off. I mean, that's really important. You have to be the kind of person who shows up, goes to the right things, goes to the places, does what is expected of them. And then you're a nice, friendly, wonderful person with a pleasing personality, not a sullen, mean, nasty person who's, you know, there are people who get together in coffee shops every day and talk about how horrible Hollywood is, or how horrible the world is, or how horrible bankers are, or how horrible the mortgage business is. And they whine and they complain and they commiserate and they take each other down, and they, you know, and they kick the dog when they come home and things like that. That's not going to make your life any better. It's true that there are some really nasty people who've made a lot of money by trampling on other people and by, you know, cutting them out of opportunity. That is a possibility. To think otherwise would be ludicrous. That does happen. But a lot of these people also get in the end the same kind of result that they got from climbing the ladder that way. Whereas if you're nice and you're wonderful and you're the kind of person people want to invite to their party, they want to take them camping, that, you know, you want to have friends who go, I want to bring that person along on our fishing trip because they're fun to be with. I want to take them on our movie crew because they're great people and they work hard and they know what they're doing and they add value to where we are. This is what the law of attraction is about. Hi, Kathy. This is what the law of attraction is about, is to attract those people because you're so wonderful that they just want to be around you. And you attract like-minded people, not unlike-minded people. You get that? Because the people who commiserate and think the world sucks are going to think you're nuts anyway. They're going to go, I don't want to be around them. They're too happy. You know. The question is what do you want? So you have to persist. You know, you get the idea, the decision, the action. You know, after collecting the tools and the resources, and tools may be people. Like if you want to build a house, you might need a team of people. You need to get your lumber and your nails and your screws and your lights and the wiring. And you have to get your stuff together, and then you take action, and you take responsibility for it. And along the way, guess what? You're probably going to screw up. You're going to get feedback that says this isn't working, or that was put together wrong, or speed bump, and you're going to have to correct and adjust and continue on in spite of that. There's no such thing as failure. It's feedback to make an adjustment, and you make the adjustment, you make the correction, and then what do? You continue, you persist so that you get past the finish line. And you do it with a positive attitude. You want to activate your attitude. You want to go, I can do anything. I can get to the finish line. I'm the kind of person who can do it. Step by step, I will do it, you know, and then do it. Be committed, be certain. You don't have to be, if your demeanor is meek and mild in the real world, you don't have to be, yeah. You can be meek and mild, but absolutely certain and convinced with deep seated conviction that I can do anything. And you don't have to announce it to the world. You don't have to blast it. You don't have to do anything. But with that conviction and that determination, you do it. So we're not trying to get you all to look like, you're a light bulb going, trying to get you convinced on the inside that you are powerful, that there's nobody like you and nobody can create like you. And if you're creating crap, stop it and create good things. If you go, I don't know how, now is the time to learn. That's what I'm telling you about. It's a matter of aiming it. If I said, hey, there's a bullseye over there, there's a target, here's a dart, throw it at the bullseye. And you go, I don't know how to throw it at the bullseye. I don't know how to throw it at the bullseye. I go, here's a dart, watch, throw it that way. Aim it at the bullseye. And you go, boom, and throw it that way. I'm like, you're not throwing it at the bullseye. You're throwing it a different way. It's over here. Throw it at the bullseye. Throw it over the bullseye. Throw it at the bullseye. Throw it at the bullseye. And guess what? The more you throw it, the closer to the bullseye you're going to get. Half the time you might be hitting the wall and outside the target, outside the dartboard, but eventually you're going to get closer and closer to hitting the center. And sometimes you may luck into it. Yeah, close your gut and just accidentally hit it. But by consistent practice and aiming, you'll get there. And it helps if you see it going into the bullseye and then throwing it that way. Then if you don't see it, because then you have nothing to coordinate your muscles for. You have to aim at it. Get it? It's really quite simple when you think about it. Now, the reason why we don't is because we have neurological filters. We have the conditioning that we were raised with about whether the world is a friendly place or not, whether you're capable or not, whether you're the kind of person who's going to be successful or not. All the kinds of beliefs and values, character traits that prevent us or hold us back. And they're literally neurological filters. There's opportunity in front of us all the time in whatever work you are, in whatever life station you're at, whatever relationship you're in. There's opportunities all around you. And if you're not noticing them, it's because you have conditioned yourself to be the kind of person who doesn't notice opportunities yet. And you can change that. Again, it is moving away from what it was and aiming it to what it is you want to do. You put that in your future. Send that into the place. I am the kind of person who I will be the kind of person, but I am the kind of person. You're creating every single moment, whether you agree with it or not. So you might as well agree with it. But if you don't think you are, let's pretend for a second it's not true, because it doesn't matter if it's true or not. What matters is that you think it's true or not, because if you don't think it's true, you'll behave a certain way. If you do think it's true, I'm creating every moment, you have a different sense of responsibility and accountability. You have a different sense of where the power is. I'm the one creating this, not it's happening to me. I'm a victim. This is happening to me. I've created the coronavirus. I've created the isolation thing, along with a lot of other co-creators. But in other words, it's my response to what's going on in the world. Is if there's a volcano, it's my response to it. So I might as well accept that I'm creating an aspect of it. Even if it's not true that I'm creating the volcano. However, I can guarantee this, that if I'm dead, I don't know that there's a volcano, most likely. If I'm the body, in the ground or cremated, that consciousness that was at the time probably is not aware of the volcano erupting. But as long as I'm here and it erupts over there, I can be aware of it. So if there's a situation in life that's uncomfortable, untenable, that you don't like, instead of complaining about it, become aware of how you contribute to it being what it is, and then decide to stop perpetuating that. Stop perpetuating the problem, stop perpetuating old conditioning, stop doing things the old-fashioned ways, and do anything else. If what you're doing isn't working, do anything else. Do something else. Do anything else. You don't even have to know what to do. Just do something else. Dance, for crying out loud. Instead of crying and moaning and commiserating with people at the coffee shop about how the world sucks, go dancing, go boating, take a canoe ride, learn meditation. Do something that makes you feel better. Be in charge. Don't go down the same thing. I'm going to have to learn to paint that way, Kathy. Yeah. I've been told the namaste thought won't work in the real world. It's amazing how much we've been told that we buy into and don't realize that we are operating from other people's thoughts and other people's beliefs and other people's values that we've adopted as children growing up that we now make our own. And a lot of people are told something works or doesn't work, and they don't bother to check out whether it actually does. They just go, oh, well, so-and-so said it, so they must know. I'm not asking you, by the way, I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. I'm asking you to do it. And if you do it, you will get the results. You will find out that I'm telling you good stuff. But you don't have to believe me, and you don't have to believe it, and you don't have to do it. That is your choice. This is the point. I can only present it and encourage you and say, hey, look, I've got this wonderful thing for you to try. Would you like to try and taste this? Would you like that? Would you? And you go, no. I go, go on, try it. Good. No, I don't want it. I go, are you hungry? Can you? No, I don't want it. And if you refuse it, well, then you refuse it. There's a reason why I repeat what I do, and there's a reason why crappy things happen in your world. Again, you don't have to believe it. Use it as a useful lie. Reason why crap happens in your world, why you spend time with dog shit, is to learn how to get over creating that in your life. An alarm clock doesn't beep once. It goes, it constant beeps. If you have a musical song that only has one note that goes off once, beep. Not much of a song, is it? Doesn't get your attention. I mean, a loud one might get your attention, but there's a reason why the piston in your car goes continually. Reason why your alarm goes on continually. It's the reason why your oil indicator comes on and stays on to get your attention. To get your attention, to draw your attention away from other things to the fact that something needs addressing. Guess what needs addressing when you have crap in your life? It's saying, hey, there's a different way to live. There's a different way to be. There's a different way to think. So I'm going to throw you this lesson. This is going to happen. Some people marry the same person over and over again until they don't. Until they go, you know what? I keep marrying the same guy, or I keep marrying the same girl. I keep getting involved with the same kind of people. I keep doing the same thing. I keep investing in the wrong place. I keep trying, but I keep, shooting myself in the foot. It's there repeatedly to get your attention because we're busy with other things. We're distractible. We don't notice. So the light stays on your dashboard. So you go, oh, I have an oil. Now, if you ignore it and you go, I'm not even going to bother with it, the heck with it. I'm sure I have oil. Well, you may find that there was a reason. It could be a faulty indicator. Could have gone off accidentally. But wouldn't you want to know if it were? I mean, if feedback in the world is saying, hey, guess what? You don't have to live in poverty. So I'm going to keep making you broke until you decide to live a different way. You don't have to have crappy relationships. Like, I'm going to keep having you marry the wrong person until you choose a better way. In other words, I don't know that there's any consciousness to this. I'm just saying, if you try the thoughts on that your life, for example, is a reflection of who you are and what you've bought into and what you believe, albeit growing up, you didn't do it on purpose. You might not even want it, but you don't even know what you believe. And the alarms are going off and you're too busy doing your thing. They'll keep going off until you go, oh my God, I didn't know that. Wow, the alarm went off today. And they go, no, they've been going off for 10 years. It's been going off for 10 years. But you noticed it today. And now that you noticed it, you have a choice. Again, now you're back at choice. Awareness brings choice. Do I want to continue the way I've been going? I want more dog shit, or do I want diamonds? Do I want something new? And if I want something new, I have to do something different. I have to be different. And I can be different. I don't know how yet, but I can be different. I can make different choices. I can choose to listen to this audio program every night before you go to sleep. I can choose to review it. I can do the workbooks. I can really dive in, because you know what? There'll be people who get this program, they never crack it open. They never watch the videos, or they do, and they go, well, okay, I'll get back to that another time. It's what you make it. What you get from it, what you put into it, is what you will get back from it. And the cool part about it is, with the law of compensation, is that you get back more than you put in. Now, I'm going to say something, and I don't mean this in any kind of spiritual way. You got a free course. I gave you a free course. It is a gift. It's free. And there's always a danger when you give something to somebody free, that they won't value it. It's like, the notion of throwing pearls in front of swine. And I don't believe that any of you are that, but that's my point. My point is, I wanted to do something that would help people at a time of crisis in our country, so that they could be prepared for when they can reemerge, and they've got plenty of time right now to do things. But the danger is that people won't value it. They didn't invest in it. There's no skin in the game. They didn't have to buy their car. They got the car so they could trash the car. They don't do anything with it. They dally, they dabble, they dip. You either dive into the pool, or you stand on the sides and you dip your toes. Either you're in it all the way, or you're not in it at all. Some people wade into the water and take a real long time getting in. Other people just jump right in. You can stand on the sidelines and analyze to death whether you're ready or not ready, or whether you should or whether you shouldn't, or whether you feel this way or shouldn't that way, or whatever. Or you just go ahead and do something that changes your life radically and permanently for the good, because you start behaving and taking action in your own best interest. Now, I said in section 1, you can take a lot of action and not get anywhere. You can be like stuck in the mud, but the tires are spinning and they're not making the correct contact with the ground. There's no friction, so that you're not actually able to move, but you're busy spinning tires. It's not just action. This is the point. And it was the thing about the secret misses the action point. It's action, but it's action around all of this. It's all intersecting, interwoven. It's like a tapestry of things. It's not one thing. It's them all in concert. That in you transform yourself. It's a process, but you can do little tiny things. Our conscious awareness, our conscious awareness. There is do or don't do. There is no try. Exactly. Don't dream it. Be it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to be it, and you have to do it. So I'm like an alarm clock. You go, why did you send me so many emails? Why do I keep repeating myself? Because until you hear it, you won't hear it. Until you get it, you won't get it. And this is not disparaging. It's the same with me too. It's awareness. And the problem is there's so many competing signals for our attention these days, whether it's the media or social media or activity. The cool part about where we are right now is you can sit home and you can reflect, and you can learn. You can do this program or something else. You could learn to dance, for example, if you're home with a partner that you can dance with. You can do whatever you want, because you can't usually. You say, well, I'm too busy. I've got work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I don't have time to learn how to manage my money because I'm too busy trying to earn money. Well, now's the time that you have available to you. That's why I wanted to give people a program. I could have sold the program. I sell programs, but I gave it because I want to help people actually do things in their life. And so I'm hoping that if you got the program free and you're in the support group, you engage, you act. Not for me. It doesn't. I'm happy if you're successful, but you understand? I want you to be happy with what you're doing and how you're changing and evolving, because you're doing it for yourself and or your loved ones, and you're helping make the world a better place. And you're contributing in the support group because you are the kind of person who contributes, who adds value, who finds it easy to express your gratitude, who finds it easy to inspire and to motivate and to uplift other people. Because when you do that and you go out in the real world, those are the kinds of people you'll attract back, and the kinds of experiences and events that you'll create. Because guess what? The neurological filters that you're putting in place, unlike the commiserating in the coffee shop about how things suck, is what a wonderful world it is. And I'm such a powerful, incredible creator. And everything is a blessing and everything is an opportunity. And I'm the kind of person who takes advantage of opportunity. I can recognize blessings and I am blessed, and I can bless others. You become, you don't dream it, you be it. You become the kind of person for whom manifesting wonderful things is completely easy. It's unconscious competence. It's not a struggle. Most of us are trying to create because we're in the conscious competent phase. We're trying to talk ourselves through it. We're trying to convince ourselves we can do it. We're in the learning, and that's fine. That's a great place to be because at least you're learning. So you should congratulate yourself. Go, you know what? I'm learning. I've showed up. I'm learning. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I wonder how soon before I can begin to make it work more consistently. I wonder how quickly I can discover myself creating all sorts of incredible good things that I haven't even yet begun to imagine yet, but that I can, because now I can become aware of all the different blessings in the world that I missed before. And I don't have to pay attention to any of the historic crap in my life. Dump it. It was there to be a lesson. Extract the lesson and dump the story. Stop telling the same stories. People go, you know why I'm not a successful? Because when I was this, and then this happened, and that happened, and then and they've been repeating that story every day of their life for 50 years or 2 years or however long it's been. Write a different story. That was then. I made a mistake. Now I'm learning how to control my life and do things in different ways. And what I did from that point on is this. And you move forward differently. Are you taking notes, by the way? Are you discovering things that you can comment on in the class and in the program and in the support group that can inspire other people? We do have, Kathy, absolutely. And by the way, I don't know, again, who's here. We're going to come to questions later, and I'm just kind of going through Sunny and Nicola and Patrick, Sharon and Beth. Rintu. There's so many good people here. There's so many good people here. There's a principle that you don't want repetition. Correct repetition consistently for long enough makes it the habit, and you want that. There's a downside to repetition, not in terms of habit formation, but the repetition that happens from, say, the news media. And that is if it's constant, like one note, like when a person goes into a factory and there's just noise, like loud noise, we don't notice anything else for a while. And over time, that loud noise will fade. And people will become essentially functionally deaf to the noise so that they can now converse in a loud environment. Our brain filters the noise out because it's just kind of one constant din. It's told, I have no proof of this, but that it only takes like a molecule of an odor for us to notice, and dogs' scent is 200 times ours, but for us to notice, and that fairly rapidly our sense of smell fatigues. So if you're around a not pleasant odor for a long time, the odor may be present and you may stop noticing it because your brain has filtered it out. I don't know, it's true. I don't have any firsthand research experience of that, but so this is what I've heard. So the point is that you don't know the habits that have held you back, the thinking that has held you back. You might know some of them. And that's why awareness, that's why the alarm clock, that's why the alert signal, that's why somebody calling and saying, hey, wake up is so important, is because you're doing what you're doing and you're perpetuating what you're perpetuating, and you're recreating the same thing over and over and over again. You're telling the same stories over and again. You're reviewing the same movies. You got the same negative self-talk inside your head. You're constantly doing the same stuff. And the only way that ends is to let it go and do something different. Not berate yourself, not criticize yourself the same way you would have in the past, but to now say, that's what I did. That's the past. And now from this point on, I want to do this instead. And you rehearse being different. You practice being different, and you do it long enough consistently until the new way becomes a habit. Are we clear? Say yes if we are. Because this is truly the way you change. You either change with catastrophe or change through conditioning. Catastrophe just means that there's a big enough thing that happens, and you make the decision, I'm not going to be like that ever again. And you decide to be different, and you live from that. There was enough significant pain, probably, that you decided to move. And for a lot of people, that's it. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They can't overcome inertia. All right, Linda, Darren, Damien, Wayne, got it. Cool. What does it say? Yep. You can't solve a problem from the same mind that created it. Exactly, Willem. I mean, that is the point. You can't be at the same level. You have to step aside. You have to be different. You have to change perspective. You have to do something. I posted the other day to somebody who, if you're standing on a chair looking at a yardstick, you don't have to be, but gives you some distance. You can see that the yardstick has two ends and a lot in the middle. And that's true about everything. Every argument has two sides at least. There might be multiple sides. But if you're looking at this end of here's the yardstick and you're only looking at one end, then you think that's the yardstick. So it takes a shift of position. It takes an awareness that you and I habitually view the world in a particular way, and we view it by our filters and how we grew up. And that's not a bad thing. That's really a good thing, but it's just been filtering a lot of crap, and making that available to us because that's how most people learn to do it. What's amazing is that the ancients knew this years ago without any research, without any labs, without any science, without any of the stuff. They knew that you had to change yourself. They knew you couldn't continue to do the same things over and over again, hoping to be different. You had to actually do things different. So they had meditation, they had martial arts, they had religious practices, they had all these things so that you could transform yourself to get out of doing all the habitual stuff you do habitually and to do new habitual habits that get you a better bang for your buck, if you understand what I'm saying. So it's correct repetition and getting out of the habitual din of repetition and becoming aware, and the alert and the problems and the issues that surround us are all signals to say, hey, guess what? You can transform. You can transform. And catastrophe is there so that you can transform. And all of the historic, moaning that you might have over things are there so that you can extract the lesson, drop it, and go. So you're not carrying the baggage with you forever. You need to just let it go. So, and you don't have to know what to do. Boy, I made a lot of notes, and we're not going to get through all of the notes here. By the way, I do want to do this next Monday as well. And I thought we'd do session 1 today and session 2 next time, but there's a lot of stuff I would like to cover that we may not get through here today, because I do want to be able to answer questions as well. But even notice, and I want you to ask all your questions, but even notice what are the questions you have and how are they based on prior conditioning and what you accept to be the case versus what may be the case. So to recap just a little bit, if you quit anywhere along the line and you don't go all the way through, you won't get what you want. The same is true about this program. If you dabble, if you sit there and analyze and you don't go through the program, you don't do it, you're not going to get the best value out of the program. But if you do exactly what I'm saying and you put your effort in, crystal clear, good, Beth. That makes sense. All right, cool. Very cool, Paul. Awesome. I really do. This is awesome. I'm glad you guys are all here, and I'm glad you're commenting in the chat room. Creation is a process. Learning is a process. Transformation is a process. Living is a process. It's all a process. It's not an event. You don't live once. You don't breathe once. You continue to breathe. And you breathe in and you breathe out. So living is a process. You got to change what you focus on in order to get different results. You can't be focused on the same thing. You can't be doing what you did. You have to do things differently in order to get different results. So you want to stop perpetuating the old and realize that now is the opportunity, and you have an opportunity to review and to decide. The opportunity to decide. Because you become aware, you have the opportunity to review and then decide. Excuse me, I should be in my elbow, right? But I'm at home. And then you can change anything. And what you sow is what you reap. So you want to know that, excuse me. So it is true. I'm going to shift a little bit and go, it's important that you know what you want. And here, and you want to clarify what you want. And I talked about it in session 1. If you don't know what you want, you want to clarify that by saying, if you don't know what you want to clarify by saying what I don't want. So for example, and you might want to write this down. You go, I don't want to be fat. Okay, well, what do you want to be? And what do you want to be? What do you want to weigh, for example? What do you want to weigh? What do you want to see, hear, feel, taste, and smell? It's a weird question, but how do you see yourself? What do what do you look like? What do you tell yourself when you weigh that amount? How does it feel when you weigh that amount? Are you seeing or smelling or tasting things differently? What will it be like when you have it? What would it be like now to be it? In other words, if in the future you were not the present weight, but the ideal weight that you want to be, what would that look like, sound like, feel like, taste, and smell like? If that's there, what would people be saying? How would you look when you look in the mirror? Things like that. Okay. What can you do right now to become that? What do you either have to stop or what do you have to start? What can you do each day? A little bit each day that would put you on the track to being that. You say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, that may be too much. But if you said, I'm going to lose a pound every 2 weeks, that might be a whole lot easier to do. And so you want to make sure that you're able to do that. So you do things daily that you can celebrate and you can adjust and continue. And you do it. And if you don't get the result you want, you adjust and continue and correct it until you do. Okay. You make yourself responsible and you make yourself accountable. And when you do this, you're enlisting the power of your unconscious mind, which is far more powerful than your conscious mind. That's why we do the things that we don't want to do. That's why people bite their nails when they don't, because the unconscious mind has learned to do that. It does it reliably and automatically whenever it's triggered, and it does it, consistently, which is, again, it's a good thing that it does. It's just learn to do something that you don't want it to do. So now you have to teach it to do something different. You're really training your brain. You're training your unconscious mind to respond and to do things the way you want it to do. It's a really wonderful, reliable servant. And the only way you do it is conditioning. Same way that you build, but your computer can't do something if it wasn't programmed to do it. You got to program your computer. You got to program your mind. You got to program your attitude. You got to program your behaviors and your feelings. You can't just know what not to do. You got to instruct it in what to do. Like, I don't want to be fat doesn't tell you what to do. You have to instruct it in what you want it to do. Well, there you go. You did something. You decided you needed to be thinner, and you joined keto. You started eating different. You lost 24 pounds so far. Fantastic. That's the part. You can sit there and wish to be different, but you actually took an action and did it. And if your attitude supports your behavior and your attitude supports getting there, because attitude is the number one predictor for success. That's why the powerful statement is, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're correct. Attitude is the number one predictor for success. If you don't think you're going to succeed, it's likely that you aren't going to succeed. It's likely that you might not even try. That's why I said earlier, with certainty, you want to be certain that you're going to carry through. You're going to do it. Attitude is the number one predictor of success. Activate your attitude, put your best foot forward, do the things. Yeah. And again, congratulations. And you feel better. Yeah. Very cool. And you should pat yourself on the back and go, you know what? I'm moving in the direction that I want to move in. I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish. All right. Very fantastic. And so right now, good or bad, you are who you are, and you do what you do because you learned to do it in the past. That's all it is. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You're not your behaviors. You're not your words. You are so much above and beyond that. You're this kind of sentient, wonderful, spiritual body being, whatever you are. And then you have these things that you learn to do. You learn to think, you learn to speak, you learn to behave, you learn to feel. And those you got from the outside, and they came through experiences. They're habits. So you want to use that very same unconscious habit resource to change, to become an unconscious, reliable, manifesting, positive, powerful, productive, good creator and attractor. Your brain is your friend. It works reliably. And so you upload what you want to change, and then your unconscious mind kind of downloads the change for you. You tell it what you want, and then your brain can do it for you. And that's why it's important to activate your attitude and to get yourself present and to go, I can do anything. I will say I have the attitude activator. If you want some help, that's an option for you. I'm just putting it out there. But however you choose to, you have to, and attitude doesn't just, like I said, it doesn't go, nah. You can be quiet, you can be serene, you can be peaceful, you can be calm, you can be relaxed, you can be confident, you can be secure. It's what is needed at the time that's important. There are times, I'm an actor. Sometimes you're yelling and screaming. Sometimes you're, that's one of the things I do. Sometimes you're quiet and serene. Sometimes I play a priest. Sometimes I play a killer. I mean, it's the kind of thing that, it's not one thing. You don't want to be one note. You don't want to be through life, because that's not how life is. It ebbs and flows. But you want to vibe high more of the time. You want to be in that upper echelon of where you feel good most of the time, not less of the time. Now, if you are creating what you want, continue. That's fantastic. Like you're losing weight, continue it. And if you aren't, for example, if you're not doing this program, if you haven't dove in and you haven't, I think you probably have because you're all here, but people who aren't here, people who got the program who aren't diving in, the question becomes, why not? Why aren't you doing it? Whatever you say, why aren't you changing your life? For example, whatever you say, whatever reason you give is a lie. It's an excuse. It's a blame. It's an accusation. It's not true. It's just something you probably say all the time. It's like when you ask a kid, why'd you take the cookies? And they say, I didn't take the cookies. Johnny took the cookies. Your brain makes up things. It just has a reason. If you want it bad enough, you will do whatever it takes legally to get it. If you don't want it, you'll have an excuse. If you want to change your life, you'll do whatever is required. If you want to have the career, if you want to become rich, if you want to have the right relationship, you'll do whatever is required of you to get it. And if it's not that important to you, then you won't care. Barnes became a janitor for 5 years working for Edison because he said, I want to be the partner of Edison. He had to get to Edison. He said, I went and put Edison on notice. I'm going to be working for you. And Edison said, this guy's dressed like a bum, but there was a fire in his eyes. There's something going on in him. I gave him a chance, put him to work as a janitor. He cleaned up you got to invest in yourself. You got to invest. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You get back what you put in. You throw out the boomerang, a boomerang comes back. If you don't do anything, nothing will come back. If you sit and wish, your wishes will come back, but you won't get your wishes. And that's the problem. People want things a lot, and they spend up getting more of wanting, but they don't get what they want. You have to be the kind of person who gets what they want and do the kinds of things to get what you want so that you can have those things that you wanted and make them yours. You'll always do what you always did. You'll always do what you always do until you don't. You get that? You're always going to do it until you don't. And then when you don't, guess what? You'll do something new and something different. That's why if it's not working, do anything else. Do anything else. You don't have to know what it is. You don't have to do anything. Just do something else. Interrupt the pattern of what's not working. If you're complaining and whining and bitching and moaning and you realize it and you realize you're being negative, stop and do anything else. You can stop and say, that's what I would have done in the past. That's the old me. Forget what I just said. It was all a big lie. Just making the whole thing up. However it works for you, but you just stop it and then do something else. Go for a walk, go fishing, take a massage, have a cup of tea, dance, sing, skip, interrupt it. Don't keep doing, if you're standing somewhere, jump around, hop around. If you're sitting, stand up. A lot of people, what they don't realize is I'm sitting in the chair all this time, but I'm varying my behavior so that I'm not just sitting. And when people tend to get depressed and upset and frustrated and angry, they adopt a certain posture. And then everything operates from that posture. And their neurology tells them this is sad. And then they don't feel like getting up and they don't feel like doing anything. And in order to be different, they actually have to get up and do something different. That's why the old people say, go work in a garden, go do some manual labor, go help somebody else. All those things help people get outside of the comfort zone. Comfort zone can be painful, believe me. People sit in pain until it's really painful, before they change. That's why, the whole thing about having to hit bottom. I mean, some people have an incredible tolerance for pain. They don't get out of their comfort zone. They don't get the inertia. They're not making contact to change. But if you're not getting the results you want, guess what? You're not doing what you need to do to get the results. If you haven't got the results yet, don't blame yourself. Just be different and do different things. You want your life to change, you must change some things in your life. Your dinner plates are not going to clean themselves. You've got to do it. You don't have to know what to do. It doesn't hurt, but you don't have to know what to do in order to do. You act. It's the kind of thing like money love speed. You have to act quickly. You can't sit and wait and vacillate, because you'll think and wait and vacillate yourself out of it. People talk themselves out of good opportunities. That said, you need to recognize, and I'm not a financial advisor or doctor or any of those things, so I'm not telling you how to make investments, just so you know. But you need to what do you need to do? Put it in the chat. Powerful words there. Thank you, Wayne. Life is not typecast stereos. Every situation is different, Mark. Absolutely. Maybe similar, but different. Yeah, absolutely. It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. Indeed, Paul. What if you have experiences you believed would succeed, but find yourself not achieving those results? Well, that's what I'm talking about, William. You adjust and continue. You have to do things differently. So you tried something and it didn't work. The Wright brothers had to try multiple times in order to fly. They didn't know what they were doing to fly until they flew. They didn't know how to get a mechanical aircraft off the ground until they got it off the ground. Then they could reverse engineer it, recreate that. Edison, if he did 10,000 trials to make the light bulb, was doing things all the time, but not getting the results he wanted. Although he said, accordingly, that every time he didn't get a light bulb, he knew a way not to make one. So you may not be getting the results that you want. That's feedback to tell you have to do something different. You're not on the right path. Or maybe you have to do some things differently, but you need to persist. In other words, if you give up, you're certainly not going to get the results. So you have to adjust and continue. You make minor adjustments and you go again and you try it again. And ultimately, you hit on what works. Now, part of that is, that's why I'm here. That's why there are other peoples in the world who would try and help you along, is to say, you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. If you know certain principles or certain practices, you can put those into place, and that will help you quicker or more swiftly if you are dedicated to the practices. If you dabble into the practices, it's not going to help you much. Exactly. So I hope I answered that. I may not have answered it fully yet, but some people wait until it's so bad to move, and they just are wedded to that. That's what procrastinators do. They decide now is more important than feeling discomfort of doing something. So you need to take charge and do little things that make you win. All you do when you wait is wait. So when I said money, love, speed, it means you, according to Napoleon Hill, you have to decide and act quickly on accurate information. And that's truly the crucial thing. You don't do it just because somebody said, hey, there's a good deal. Like, I have a bridge, I'm going to sell you, I got swampland, I want to say. You don't do it just because somebody said it. You base it on accurate information, but you decide quickly, and then you take a long time to change that opinion. It's a long time to change that decision. What for most people do is they take a long time to decide, and then they miss the opportunity. They wait. They talk themselves out of it. They decide it's not worth it. They don't want to do it. So within any time you decide you're going to do anything, like you're going to clean your room, or you're going to learn how to manage your money, or you're going to do something in this program, or I'm going to post more, 24-hour rule. Do it within 24 hours. Stick to your word. Do it. Because if you don't do it, what you're doing is you're saying, my word doesn't count. I say I'm going to do things, but I don't. And maybe that's how you operated in the past. So now you have to start learning how to commit to being a person of your word and keeping your word and keeping consistently your word. But you got to act. And you have to act. If you don't know what to do and you're not sure, then search for it on the internet. Read an article. Call somebody up. Get a referral. But act. Do some step. Take some step. You don't have to do the right thing or the only thing, but you have to get bits and pieces of it moving. You have to move and be stepping toward that 1,000-mile journey, not just sitting there and going, I'm not sure what to do. I don't know what to do. I tried it and I failed. And so now what? Stick with it. Do what the Wright brothers' father was like. You guys are idiots. Get out of here. This is stupid. You're never going to be able to fly. Stop. But they kept going until they flew. And guess what? We travel all around the world by plane now because they didn't give up. And if that was you, commit to being different. And now practice being the person of your word by taking small things that you can promise yourself to do and then do those throughout the day. That's why I said post 3 times during the day. If you go, yes, I will do that, then do that. because that's something you can keep your commitment on. By the way, I want to give you an exercise before this is done. I know I haven't answered any questions, but are you liking this? Is this good value for you? I mean, because I can continue or I can stop and we can just answer some questions because I know the questions are important, but I do have some stuff. So if you put it in the chat room, if you want me to keep going, I've got some things I want to continue. I've been taking classes, baby steps, moving forward, make a leap, move. Continue. This is valuable, grateful. Sharon, we'll come back to that, and I appreciate you saying it. It started to scroll off while people go. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, no, to me, this is killer. This is great stuff. This is the stuff that your dreams are made of. This is how you get them, and that's why I'm happy to be able to share them with you. So you got to go. What's more important to you? Where you are going, what you want, or defending where you're at? Because a lot of people defend where they're at. They say, well, I did this, and this is what it was. This is just who I am, and that's how I am, and and I didn't have the right parents or whatever. You can't. You're not going to change if you defend where you are. That's an excuse. It's a blame. It's a reason. You have to decide that what's more important to you is becoming the person you want to be. Nisa, good. I'm glad you're here. Stop recreating your old stories. Stop recreating. People do this daily. They get up and they start saying why they don't have what they want to themselves and to other people. You got to stop creating that. You got to start creating new stories daily that you are in charge of your life. You're a beautiful, wonderful, positive, powerful creator, and you create great things. And if you want, you can go look at what I created in my past. I created misery and suffering and financial poverty. I created all that stuff. Then one day I decided I was going to turn it around, and now I'm creating prosperity and abundance and love and forgiveness and kindness and gentleness and peace and happiness and all that. And actually write it out, and then update it and revise it. Who are you? What do you want? What are you good at? What are you doing? What are you feeling? What are you thinking that's positive and powerful? Start putting down in a journal every day a story. I mean, I could say, here's why I didn't get what I wanted when I was 8 years old because blah, 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 blah. And here's where my life fell apart when I was 20. This didn't work out for me when I was 40. And people do that. You have no idea what I've been through. Historically, some people love misery loves company. They just go on and on about their failures. You have no idea the hardship that I've had. You know what? Get over it. I mean, yes. And it may have made you interesting, but if you're not getting what you want, stop living from it. It's like, wake up, for crying out loud, wake up. And you know what? I am not telling you to do anything that I haven't done. I'm not describing anything that I mean, I've done all sorts of bonehead crap in my life. All right. I mean, that's just it. But I'm a different person today. And thank God that I went through what I went through, or I wouldn't have any appreciation for it. If you're not hungry, you don't appreciate your food, so they say. So I've learned that. It's like what bankruptcy does. Bankruptcy teaches most people you don't have to fear bankruptcy. You've lost me. I don't know what that means. Yeah, you just snap out of it. Trying to become who I forgot I was. Happiness is an emotion. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Al. So write it down. I mean, seriously, get a journal and write down what you want to be, who you are. Put it in the present tense. This is who I am. And anytime, and this is why I said, how I came up with director questions. I came and hey, guess what? My book is coming out August 28th. I'm going to tell you this. I should tell you to you later, but my book is coming out, Live Life on Your Own Terms. And I thought I was going to get some copies today. I might have them by next week, but of the actual physical book. But it's at Amazon right now, Life on Your Terms. So don't buy it now. Buy it on the 28th. I want to do a launch. I want to do a Kindle launch along with the book. You could get the book now, but my point is, I want everybody to go on the 28th between 10 a.m. and like noon Central Time. You'll have to figure that out, and I'll send you an email or something. But tell all your friends, all your family, and get the book. I'm going to take it all the way down to like 99 cents or something, and give it away, and the Kindle. And do something very special for the day. So go and get it on the 28th. It's a Tuesday. We'll probably do a session on the 27th. That's next week on a Monday. So, and I'd like to do that. We'll meet at the same time, Monday at 2:00. So Tuesday, the next day, I'll remind you, but Tuesday, the next day is when I'm launching the book. And I might have a copy for show then. But every day, write in your journal. And I was saying, if it's present, it's too hard for you to say. If you can't say, I am powerful, you say, I'm learning to become powerful. I'm not powerful yet. I don't feel totally comfortable saying I'm powerful. And I wonder how soon before I can begin to imagine myself being more powerful or coming into my own or being comfortable with being able to say this. I'm learning how to do it. I'm discovering possibilities. You know, it's the joking thing about the British, you know, the apology stuff. I'm wondering if possibly, perhaps, I might be able to, you know, maybe discover how powerful I am. And I'm not sure if I will or can, but it would be really wonderful if I could. In other words, give yourself permission to move along step by step. You don't have to be it now, but you want to declare it now as much as you can. You want to command it. You want to say, this is who I am. The reason why people don't have affirmations work is not because they don't work. It's because, one, they don't do them to great effect. They don't do them long enough, and they don't believe them. The other thing, they go, I am powerful, and they don't act it out. You have to go, I am powerful. You don't have power isn't the only way to do it. You can say, I am powerful. I am powerful. You don't have to be, yeah. You can say, I can do anything. You got to say it with conviction. You got to, I'm the kind of person who can do anything. And if I can't do it, I'll learn how to do it, because that's the kind of person I am. And I stick with it, and I mean what I say, and I, you know. So get it? In other words, when people do affirmations, it's not the words. The words have power. I mean, they're vibrations, and what we're talking about is vibrations, but it's how you use the words. I can do anything is different than I can do anything. So it's your feelings that unlock the power for you to do stuff. Now, guess what? I was the kind of person growing up that if I got a piece of lint on my pants, I didn't want anybody to see me remove it. I was very introverted. I mean, I loved acting and I loved doing all this stuff, and I could be on a stage and do it, but I couldn't do it in person. I was very shy, you know, didn't think people liked me. They might still not like me. But my point is if I can sit here and go, I am powerful, you can too. You know, just have fun with it. If you don't think you can, give it a try. Go in, you know, your closet, look in the mirror, and go, I am powerful. God, I look so silly saying it. I am powerful. I look so silly. And have fun with it. In my book, I have a story about a guy who couldn't move his arms more than, like, he would do this. He was just like this. And now he's like that, you know, but at the time he couldn't do it. So it's in the book. But you got to desire it, or you're not going to get it. You got to want it. Burns, in the Napoleon Hill version, you know, said it was a white hot passion. He had to work. There was no other options, you know. He had to work for Edison. He had to be his partner, not just work for him, be his partner. He wanted it more than anything else. So you have to decide what's more painful, being who you are, the way you are, with the results that you've gotten so far, and sacrificing all of what you could be or could have, or getting what you want. What's more potent for you? What's more important? Having the life that you deserve, because you certainly deserve it. If you want it, if you can imagine, if you can think it, that's a sign that you're intended to have it. Now just go ahead and make it happen. You know, you're not thinking it because it's fairy dust. You're thinking it because it's a possibility for you. Now make it happen. Now create it. But you have to go. You know, this is where you got to say, I'm sitting here doing nothing, and I'm doing it forever. Thank you, Francis. Oh, and Sharon, thank you. Did I say April? Oh, Tony, thank you. I probably said not August 28th, April 28th, a week from now, tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, the 28th of April. Thank you. You're welcome, Linda. Oh, the screen froze, which I'm glad you're back. All right. So stop creating waiting and stop creating wanting. Okay. Create what you want. We'll talk more about that in the next session, but create what you want and not wanting what you want. Do you understand it? Stop creating wanting what you want and create what you want. Open your eyes, get passionate, and open your eyes to opportunity, and then dream big and vibe high. In other words, again, you don't have to be, it's nice if you are. Let me just put it that way. But if you're the kind of person who tends to be reserved, you know, I'm from America, you know, I yell across, you know, the Wyoming. I'm a loud American. So, but I wasn't always. Okay, just so that's my point. I could be very angry mad, but I couldn't be happy mad. I could not go to a football game and cheer the team on. I felt stupid. I go team. I didn't want to do it. I could dance if I went to a dance with a girl and we could dance. I couldn't dance if they were dancing in a stadium. I couldn't be rocking with the people and doing the wave. That was not me. That was not me. So you can do anything. Your brain only says yes. So you need to know how to work that mechanism. There's no sabotage. You just make it work for what you want it to do. By the way, if you have to pee or get a drink, I understand. I haven't figured out how to take a break on this. So we're not going to be able to, it's just going to go and we're going to go. And so if you have to take care of your needs, do so. Next time, bring a jar if you have to. But energy goes where your attention goes. You have to know I have a very weird sense of humor. Energy goes where your attention goes. And as I say, it's dog crap or diamonds, and you're always making a decision. So when you get up in the morning, do you want a dog crap day or a diamond day? Are you going to look for frowns and for things that go wrong? Are you going to recreate that bad history that's negative, less than glorious, I can't do it stuff? Or are you going to say, you know what, I'm going to look for smiles. I'm going to look for how I can possibly be different. I'm going to look for opportunity to have fun and to enjoy and to spread love and to give kindness and uplift people. I'm going to uplift myself. And if I notice myself thinking or saying something negative, I'm going to go, stop. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. And I'm going to be different. I'm going to shift away from what was and into what I can do differently. Good for you, Tony. I was one band member who screamed for the football team to do well and did the cheers. There you go. No, well, there you go, Sharon. I was not that person. That's good to know that you were. And there were people around me that were like that. But my point is I want you to have value. And this first session, I mean, we maybe go longer. We won't always maybe go this long, but hiya, Bailey. Energy goes where your attention goes. So you either get dog crap or diamonds. You become what you think about. Again, the ancients knew this. That's why they would say meditate. Now you can go and you can live in a monastery and meditate and live an austere life, and and become enlightened. And I mean that's a possibility. Or you live that way, enlightened and aware in our modern civilization. And you drive a car and you do things, but you are awoken to a new idea. You are enlightened to something differently. See, you become what you think about. So you have to prioritize what's important to you. Do I want to be the old way or do I want to be the new way? And if you want to be the new way, then you do things. I love my watchdogs. They are so good. They're outside. They're just barking at someone going by. They're really saying hi. They just sound like they're like, get out of here. I am so proud of them. They are such wonderful girls. They are blessings in my life. But you have to realize, okay, what you're doing. You have to realize if you're going down a negative rabbit hole and stop it. If you're commiserating with the people at the coffee shop about how the world's, you got to stop it. If you're re-visualizing over and over in your head how things haven't worked out in your life or in your past or doom and gloom for your future, you have to stop it. In other words, you can't keep doing what you were doing and expect it to be different. So if you're not getting what you want, you have to do anything else. You understand? That's why it's not just action. Do you understand the principles, how these weave together? You end one thing and you start something new. Again, the Attitude Activator teaches you this process. It's if things are going this way, there's even a segment in it where it gets a little chaotic in order for people to go through that experience of this kind of sucks, so stop and be different. And then it tells you how to be different. So the process is one that you can do for yourself. But take responsibility and be accountable, meaning if you take responsibility for creating your life, both the bad things and the good things, and you're accountable for it, it puts you in a power place. It gives you, what is it? Your dog is trying to get to the iPad to see my dog. Whoa. Cool. Be accountable. In other words, own it. Pat yourself on the back whenever you do anything good, even if you fuck up I can't believe I said it. You pat yourself on the back, you go, I did the best I could with what I had, what I knew at the time. My childhood wasn't perfect, but I did the best with what I had. When I went bankrupt, I did the best with what I had. I didn't know everything. I didn't know what I know now. So, forgive that person and learn from that and learn from the experience and love that person and grow that person up so that they aren't, a needy, helpless little inner child. They're a kick-ass, loving, kind, generous, confident, capable, competent, powerful, incredible adult warrior or wizard or magician or mystic or whatever terms you want, sage, but become who you are. Remember, what you think determines how you feel, and then how you're feeling determines what you think next. So thinking impacts feeling, and then that feeling impacts thinking, and vice versa. It circles, it loops. Thinking leads to feeling, feeling leads to thinking, and feeling leads to what you say and how you describe things, and what you say to yourself, your inner talk, and what you've repeated forever for a long, long time, and the outer talk that you have in conversations. Okay. All right. So thinking leads to feeling, which leads to the speech that you have. So I say, speak only to bless, heal, inspire, motivate, and prosper, meaning uplift. That's why, again, in the group, I encourage you in the support group to leave comments and to post at least 3 times a day. In the program, this will ultimately be part of the program again, leave comments, leave your insights underneath where it says comments for session 1 or session 3, because you're speaking to lift, uplift, and to bless, heal, inspire, motivate, and prosper other people. And when you do that for others, you do that for yourself. That's why the notion is if you help another person when you're feeling down, you will feel better. When you see them feeling good, you too can feel good. If you want to get it, you give it first. Givers get. So you think, you feel, you speak, you do, because thinking leads to feeling, leads to your actions, and those lead to the results you get. So if you've gotten results that you didn't want, it's just a process of wrong thinking, not feeling right, not talking right. And by right, I'm not meaning that there's a perfect way. I'm saying that your focus was on the results you get shows you what you were focused on. I mean, just think of it that way. The results you get show you what your thinking process, feeling process, speaking process was. If you're not happy with the results, guess what? You need to change your thinking, your feeling, your speaking, and your behaviors, and you'll get different results. So you do anything else. Rewrite your story. Retell it to yourself over and over again. Become the person you want to be. Put a guard before your lips so that if you hear yourself saying something like, I'm so stupid, or nothing ever works out right, or I never have enough money, or I can't afford it, change it, stop it, and begin to wonder how you can afford it, how you can have enough money, how you are smart, or how you were stupid, but you've learned how to be different. Change it. When you hear yourself say to someone else or yourself something that is negative, use that awareness. You become aware, you notice it, and then you shift from it. You got to shift from the negative to the positive. If you're driving down the road and there's a big rock in the middle of the road, you turn around it. You don't hopefully just drive over the rock. Consider that the negative rock, right? The negative result, the result you don't want. You have to shift away from it. You go around it, you go above it, you could maybe tunnel through it, go underneath it or whatever, but you got to do something different. And you want your thoughts and feelings to spiral you upward. Spiral you upward. So you need to think about what it is that you want, say what you want, feel what you want, act what you want, so that you get what you want. Are we clear? Feelings, think, feel, speak, act. Rehearse it. Be the person who already is it. Be the person who already has it. Be the person who already does it in your head. Rehearse it. Be that person. Les Brown tells a story of how he, as a child, would get up and talk with a microphone and practice being a DJ in his bedroom day and night, day and night. And guess what? At a certain age, he ended up with a job as a DJ at a radio station, and it came through an issue that they had, and they needed somebody, and he said, oh, I can do that, and he did it. He'd been rehearsing it all along. Barnes imagined himself to be Edison's partner. Imagine yourself to be the person you want to be, not just having what you want to have. That's fine. I mean, I could care less about cars or things or houses. If you give me a shoebox, I'm okay. All right. I say that, but I mean, I like good things. I like riches. I like to have a wonderful life. But the point being, yes, forgiving yourself and loving yourself is very powerful, Kathy. I agree. The point is that you change what you're seeing and what you're saying and what you're feeling and what you're doing, so that you get the results that you want to get. Okay. So remember, I'm going to go through review here. Remember to watch session 1 again, and then watch it again and again and again. You can listen to this again and again too. We'll answer questions in a little bit, but you can listen to it, play it at night, play it daily, put it in your car, use it, as you go on your alone excursions right now, put it on, I have, the Kajabi has an app. We should tell you about that. We'll get it. Kajabi is an app where you have your program in the app. I was at the park today listening to session 1. I mean, I recorded it, but I was at the dog park this morning for a little while listening to session 1. So you want what you don't want, you want to convert to what you do want. Does that make sense? You don't want to be negative. You want to be downer. You don't want to be poor. You don't want to be lazy. You don't want to be broken. You don't want to be sad. So you have to convert it to what you do want. Stop being stuck and doing the old way and start doing the new. Learn to think, feel, speak, act, and behave in new ways and do anything else. 65,000 thoughts a day means you're doing the same stuff over and over again. It's time to change that, okay? And have new thoughts and new things. So stop listening to the audio programs you've always listened to and watching those old movies in your head. Stop feeling those old feelings and stop doing the same old thing that keeps you doing the thing. Doing the same old stuff over and over again, but expecting different results. You got to stop that. If what you're doing isn't working, you do anything else. And the definition of insanity obviously is doing the same thing over and over again, but hoping it will be different. Interrupt patterns and don't just try and figure it out. Just do something new. Just do something new. Don't sit there and think, what can I do that will be new? Just do something different. If you talk quiet and something happens, speak loud. If you normally speak loud, speak quiet. Jump, skip, dance, change your behavior, interrupt the pattern. And forgive yourself and love yourself. That would be a great start. How can I love myself more? How can I forgive myself? How can I let go? How is not that much of a useful question, but in how many different ways could I find myself loving myself more? And how many different ways could I discover myself forgiving myself, releasing old times? And how soon might I discover myself really letting go of this and just putting it in my past and focusing on this instead? As I said in the early programs, we laughed and danced, my NLP programs, and everybody thought I was full of crap, and now everybody's doing it. All right. And the NLP Ultimate Home Study Program has been out there for 30 years or whatever it's been. And one of the most pirated programs out there. I shouldn't say that because I don't want people, but, and in it, we did all these crazy things. And so there's some examples of that in there. Just commit, okay? Commit. A commitment, a promise to yourself, I'm going to do this, is worth everything. And then just don't overpromise. Don't say, I'm going to clean the whole house. Yeah, I'm going to clean the room. I'm going to clean my drawer. I'm going to clean up the countertop. I'm going to wash these 3 dishes, and pat yourself on the back and take the win. The more wins you get, the closer you get to your goal, the better it feels. That's why getting closer to the finish line in the marathon makes you feel better. Take responsibility. You're a creator. Again, even if it's not true, it organizes your perceptions and your thoughts. And you act from them anyway, because they're not true anyway. So act from the best ones you have. It's kind of like if they're all lies, choose the best lies, the ones that get you the furthest, the fastest. Don't sit there and believe bad lies. Use the good lies to get you going in the right direction. There's no such thing as false hope, and there's no such thing, as positive thinking will be disappointing. If I hope for it, yes, if you hope for it and don't do anything for it, you might be disappointed. If you think I'm going to have this and you don't do anything for it, yes, you could be disappointed. The amount of lunacy in the world when somebody says, don't think positive because you might be disappointed, and that would be worse than if you actually went and made yourself happy. is silly. It's just totally silly. It's keeping you where you are. It would keep a person where they're stuck. Don't bother to even try. Just accept that you're a loser. And okay, that's not a suggestion. That's just an example. Okay, it's stupidity to wish something unrealistic, or to think unrealistic timeframes. I want $100 million tomorrow. In all reality, probably not going to happen. It could. You might have a rich relative who dies, and you didn't know they had $100 million, and they leave it to you. Chances are, even then, you wouldn't get it tomorrow, unless they died. You get it? So, and by the way, who's ever here, check in. Let me know that you're all here. If we've kept all the people who started with me, I hope so. If somebody had to go, I hope they say goodbye. And I hope you're all still getting value for this. We're going to wrap up and take questions in a little bit. What you focus on most is what you experience the most frequently. Hi, Mark. Good. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Rentu. Hi, Damien. Beth. All right. Oh, cool. Keep coming. And I hope you're taking notes, and I hope you're writing this down. But what you focus on most is what you get in the life. It's what you get in experience. That's why it said, you become what you think about most often. Hey, Sonny, you get what you think about most often. So if you think success, you're going to get success. If you're dwelling on success, if you're occupied with success and happiness, and you're taking steps towards getting it, you're going to do that. Hey, Mark, if on the other hand, you're thinking about it and thinking how you don't have it and you'll never have it, and you're a loser for not having it, then guess what you have? Hi, Al. Hi, Nisa. Hey, Willie. Appreciate that. So do you understand what I'm saying? You got to use common sense too. Good taste. You want to. You're not your things. You're not your thoughts. But most of us think that we are, and so therefore we are. We operate as if we are the person who's thinking these thoughts. That's the way we are, and there's no other way. But that's the way it is, and that is a silly thought. Hey, Francis. Get it? In other words, so you change your thoughts to think, you know what? I am a different kind of person. I'm the kind of person who can do it. I'm the kind of person who can think positive, powerful thoughts and get what I want in my life and be, do, and have anything that I put my mind to that's realistic. I mean, I'm not probably going to fly without a mechanical device or without some kind of powered thing or, whatever. And if you do want to fly, without wings kind of thing, don't start at the top of the building and jump off. Start at the curbside and fly up. In other words, be smart about it. If you could fly, practice taking off, not mid-flight. Think differently, and you create different habits, and you'll feel differently, and you will be different. It starts with the thinking. It starts with the idea. It starts with that inspiration. Just like when you create a teacup or a pot or a chair or a spoon or any of the human inventions. You are the medium that gets imprinted by your thoughts. You are something other than your thoughts and your feelings and your behaviors, but you own them. You don't say, I am hand, but you say, I have a hand. But we tend to think our thoughts are us because it's constant, nonstop, going on and on and on, 24/7, right? And saying the same old stuff all the time. Oh, yeah, maybe there's something new in the news that, gets our attention for a little bit, but essentially it's the same. And guess what? The things in the news that get our attention are the same things in the news that got our attention yesterday and the day before and the day before. Right. There might be a new catastrophe that you didn't know about, but it's the same catastrophe. Just different people in a different place. You understand what I'm saying? We pay attention to what we pay attention to habitually. So we are the medium that gets imprinted by these things that we've put on to us. We just show up as like a little lump of clay, a fresh new baby out of the womb, with maybe some genetic predispositions, but a whole lot of that baggage. And then we learn how to do everything. We learn what to think and what to value and what to believe and what to be afraid of and what to do and what not to do and what to eat and what not to eat and how to eat and not to eat and how to read and write and how to play and how to not play and how to, take the toys from our friends and how to, everything. It's all learned. It's all imposed from the outside. So now you have the opportunity to sculpt yourself the way you want to be now. It's a conscious choice. Yes, you have to do it differently because you do it. You don't have it happen to you between 0 and 7 years old. Now you have to take charge and do it. All right. So it's different a little bit, but it's the same process. If you use the same process to do what you did back then, you'll do it. You'll succeed. You just got to keep doing it. That's what happened back then, but you didn't know what was going on. Now you know what's going on. So you overcome inertia and you create a momentum and you get better as you go along, because as you practice, things get easier, whether it's piano, swimming, sewing, cooking, juggling, making money, managing money, selling real estate. You get better at what it is that you do by doing it. So adjust your attitude and be different. And then be open to vibing high. Just be open and vibing high. And remember, dog shit or diamonds. Every moment you have that choice. Every moment you have the choice of whether you want dog shit or diamonds. So I want to give you an exercise I've been telling you about. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about it. But one of the things that I did and do, because this is about manifesting and creating what you want and changing your thoughts and transforming your life, is I do for myself like there's a 24-hour, 48-hour film challenge, which is you got to write and then produce and direct and edit a short film, like 7 minutes long, within 48 hours. This 48-hour film fest challenge, or the 24-hour film festival challenge. So I do a 24-hour manifestation challenge, or 48-hour. If you want to be a manifester, if you want to be somebody who creates things, then practice creating. So in 24 hours, what do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to attract? Excuse me. I need to take a drink of water. A number of years ago, quite a number of years ago, I was at a film festival, and I thought, because I attend a lot of film festivals. And I was in the back, and I was on my computer, and I challenged myself through the days, because I was working the festival, part of the festival, putting it on. And I decided I would do this. I think it was a 48-hour challenge. And the festival, I believe, began on a Wednesday. So it's now Friday, and the clock is running out. And I went, what could I manifest that I'm not likely going to run into? I mean, in other words, if I said dogs, I see dogs all the time. If I said cars, I see cars all the time. I go, what would I not see or run into or experience? And I came up with goldfish. I thought, I want to manifest goldfish. Somehow I want goldfish in the next 48 hours to be prominent in my life. I just want to attract it. Didn't mean I have to have goldfish, something about goldfish, so that my awareness would be turned to goldfish. So I'm sitting in a film festival. I'm sitting in the back. I'm on my computer, and I'm doing promotion, and I'm doing work for the festival. And 2 days have gone by. It's almost the end of the 48 hours. I mean, literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. And I'm watching a movie, and I don't know what the movie was, but I liked the actor and I liked the actress. So I decided I was going to search, and I was concerned. I was like, it's closing in on the end of the 48 hours, and I haven't gotten my goldfish, and I haven't gone out, and I haven't interacted with the world. I've just been watching movies all the time. How is this ever going to happen, kind of thing? And I searched the girl first, the leading lady, and it was interesting. And I looked through her IMDb credits, and then I searched the guy, and I get down, I don't know how many credits, and it's goldfish. I was like, oh my God, here's goldfish. So if you didn't know who was here, then we could have all been without pants all this time. Well, that is a fact. It's nice of you to share that, Mark. So I suddenly had goldfish. So this was amazing. There's suddenly goldfish. So the festival ended on Saturday. I was thrilled. I got my goldfish. Sunday, I'm shooting a short film in the Milwaukee area. So I drive back into the Milwaukee area. It was at Marquette University, and I get to Marquette, and a woman friend meets me, and we walk in, and the first thing they say is, would you like a snack here? And they hand me some goldfish. And for like 2 or 3 days, all around me was goldfish. Everywhere I went, it would be goldfish. People have goldfish snacks. There would be goldfish in somebody's back window of a car. And it all started before the 48 hours stopped. So that said, I like to invite people. I blogged about it at the time, but I like to invite people to do something, to create something for 48 hours. Challenge yourself to create something that you could attract or create, that you could discover or find within 48 hours. Something that you're not going to normally encounter would be my best guess. What would be the best way to advise you to do that? And then once you've done that, think about what would I want to manifest for today? In other words, what do I want to create? What do I want to attract for today? Put yourself in that. I'm a creator. What do I want to create? What do I want to manifest? What do I want to attract? What would I want to manifest by the end of the week? Maybe I want $50 more, if you're working, or $100 more or something. What could you manifest? Make it realistic. It's not going to be I want a jumbo jet, to pick me up and fly me away. It could happen. I'm never saying never say never. But something that you could manifest within the week easily, but it's not something that you might normally do. But if it's for you personally, or for your business personally, or for your family or loved ones, it might be something that you want to do. So have some good taste regarding that, and decide what you want to do. Challenge yourself. Every 48 hours, you could challenge yourself. Every 24 hours, you could challenge yourself. Every week, you could challenge yourself. By challenge, I'm just putting it in those terms. You're not really challenging yourself. You're giving yourself the opportunity to become aware and to notice and to go beyond whatever filters you have and begin to behave in new ways. All right. So that is that exercise. And remember, again, it's what you put out there. It's what you put out there. If you throw a boomerang out, the boomerang comes back. If you don't get a teacup back. You don't get anything but what you put out. So put out what you want, and it'll come back. When you stand in front of the mirror reflects who is standing in front of the mirror right at that moment. So if you're a person who's a powerful creator, that's what the mirror sees. If you're a person who smiles, that's what the mirror sees. If you feel alone and weak and tiny and insecure, that's what the mirror would see. So you want to be the person who is the creator, the attractor. You change your thoughts and you transform your lives. The ancients knew how to do this. You knew how to do this. What you want to do is become aware of the fact that this is who you are, and you have been all along. Now own it. Own it. Own it. And with that, we'll answer some questions. And wow. So who's got a question that hasn't already been answered, that still wants to ask it? And you can still ask it even if it's been answered. And you might say how it's been answered, or if you have a question that you really want to know the answer to, and I can answer it. I will answer it. The dogs, the girls, I'm looking outside the door. Oh, and you got to chat and do it in the chat room. And if you don't have a question, that's fine too. And if this has been valuable, just let me know. I mean, just say, yep, you're here and it's been fun and it's been valuable. I'm so glad that you show up, and I hope that you will continue to, for a little while longer, we're going to be giving the program away, the course away. And so if you want to help other people at this time, invite them to the program, do so. I hope you will. Because there are people who, like I said, they're in a support group, but they don't do anything. Always read through the support group, and make sure that you're reading the comments and engaging with people and acting, and post 3 times. Again. I don't see anything happening in the chat room. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Nothing that I think hasn't been answered. It's been great. I do have an award-winning script, but no idea what to do with it now. I love how you inspired us. Is there a clearinghouse to get scripts out there? I do Rex Sikes Movie Beat, which is a podcast radio show I've done for about 11 years. It's got over 600 hours of what to do and what not to do in the movie business. There's a lot of ways. Francis, very valuable. Thank you. And I'd be happy to talk to you about the script, and I'd encourage you to go and listen to some of my recent shows about that. Very valuable. This has been a very valuable. I know that's great. Because there are ways to get your script out there. I always think it's easier to not write a script and try and sell it, but some other people think it is. In other words, it's like you try and pitch the idea and then get money to develop it rather than write the script and then try and sell it. But if you've already wrote it, And then it's just a matter of getting it into the hands of the right people. But you have to consider this. If I were the person who could produce your script, if I were Steven Spielberg or somebody else, how many hours in a day do I have to read your script? Especially since I have friends who are all multimillionaire script writers, who I work with, and get scripts from regularly. So how do you get the script to me? Because I only have so many hours a day, and I don't know you. So it's probably going to go to a reader, and the reader is going to take notes and say, if they get through the first 10 pages and they like it, they will cover it and give comments to Spielberg or whomever that, hey, guess what? This is a script that you should read. And if they don't like it, it's not going to get very far. So the key is to try and cultivate relationships with the readers and find out who they are. You can call the office and say, hey, who would read the scripts for Mr. Spielberg? Is there a way that I can get a script to that person and continue to do that? Or find managers, script agents, people who could read it, give you feedback, and say, yeah, this is great, and I have the person that can get it to you. But I encourage you to go listen to the show. There's a lot of different ways to get your script read and produced, especially if it's something that somebody does. So if you see somebody who does a lot, like they all do Christmas movies, and you have a Christmas script, that might be the person to send it. If they do a lot of romance movies and you have a romance movie, then target them. Don't send a romance movie to the Horror King. And I'm sure you know all this, but where is Movie Beat? You can, okay, Sunny. Yeah, and I have a show actually this Wednesday on Movie Beat. I'm glad that helped, Mark. That's very cool. And it's very fun and valuable. Thank you, Nisa. Movie Beat. RexSykes.com, my name with a .com behind it, is an archived legacy site that's got about 500 hours of recorded discussions with filmmakers, learning what to do, what not to do. Go there. And there's literally about 500 shows or 500 hours, something. BlogTalkRadio.com. If you search Rex Sikes Movie Beat, you'll find it. Blog Talk Radio. It's also on Apple iTunes. So there are different ways to get the shows. This Wednesday, I'm doing a show with director Peter Foldy. And it will be meaningless 10 years from now that I've said that. But in other words, Peter's show will be archived and people will be able to listen to it 10 years from now as well. But staying on topic here, have you learned more about how to create the life that you want by becoming the person that you want? This has been valuable and insightful. And because I've had a great time with you today. And again, I want to tell you, on April 28th, the book is coming out. I hope you send all your friends, and you will go April 28th. That's next Tuesday between 10 a.m. and noon Central Time. You'll have to look at your own local time. I know that would be 8 a.m. Pacific Time and what did I say, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But that time, go and get the book. I'd like to get as many people to go get the book at that time as possible. Go get the Kindle. If you want the other one, that won't have as good a deal on it, but because of the publishing costs. But yeah, go get the book. Oh, good. Kick ass, get moving. Yeah. And the thing about the idea is I'm giving you a whole lot. If you put them into practice. Looking forward to the book launch. Thanks, Paul. I am too. I'm thrilled. I can't wait. It's a new book. It's and it's written in a very special way that by the time you read it, you'll be familiar with it. But anyway, there are a lot of ideas, and that's why you write it down. That's why you listen over and over again, Sonny. You'll hear different things at different times, and you'll start doing different things at different times based on the awareness and where your energy and your attention is at that time. So repeated listening, repeated reviewing. And I talk about it, I think, in the intro video, but when you listen, take notes, handwrite them. That's important. And I won't go back into that, but handwrite them. But then somewhere down the line, rewrite your handwritten notes, because 6 weeks from now, you'll be a different person. 6 months from now, you'll be a different person. Go back, look at your notes and rewrite them every so often. Update them with your learning. Add to them. Yeah, do it. Do it what you feel most led by. If that's one way of doing it, the other way to do it is do something you wouldn't normally do and try it just because it's different. But you'll determine what's right for you. Exactly. So you review and you update, because as you incorporate a principle or practice and you start transforming your life, you become different. And so every day you get up, you could be a different person. The reason we're not is because our brain filters keep us the same, which is a good thing, or we'd wake up not knowing who we are. But it keeps us the same. It keeps us consistent. It keeps us reliable. We don't one day like pizza and then the next day go, what? Pizza? I don't eat pizza. What, are you kidding? I don't like pizza. I only like sushi. Sushi I like. And then the next day you go, but I only eat raw food. I don't eat raw food. I only like golden potatoes. We're consistent. Our brain keeps us consistent. That's that thermostat, that I talk about keeping us the same, and the need for being able to reset your thermostat to where you want it to be set, so that you get out of your comfort zone, because it's leaving the comfort zone. It's stop doing what you've always done to do new things, and add novelty. Drive to work a different way. Well, maybe you're not going to work. Take a drive, but go somewhere you've never seen. If you normally are right-handed, eat with your left hand. Brush your teeth with your left hand. Sleep with your head at the foot of the bed instead of at the head of the bed. Sleep sideways. People go to hotels and people's homes. They go, I can't sleep because it's not my bed or it's not my pillow. That's how habitual we are. So do things differently, okay? And when you do, you'll discover a whole new world. Too much novelty. If I dropped you in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the night during wartime, you'd freak out. But the brain does love novelty. It craves new experiences, and too often it just gets the same old, and it runs the same old, because that's the only thing it knows to do until you train it and teach it and alert it to being able to do something different. So I encourage you to take the different practices and principles. Like I said, write it down, start using questions, activate your attitude, develop powerful confidence. It doesn't have to be, but know who you are. Know that you're a powerful creator. Find ways to do that. And we'll meet next time, a week from now, next Monday. And then when we do, I would like to hear in the chat room the kind of things that you've manifested or created, or the things that you've discovered. You can put them in the support group as well. You can put that in the program as well, but also in the chat room when we get together. Same time, same place, next week. And please share with other people in the chat room. Out of all the people we have, I know that not everybody showed up. We had a great number of good people who registered the program. I don't know if you're all here or not, whether you said hi or not. I will get I can track that later on. But the point is far more people say yes, I'm coming, than actually come anywhere. Show up for anything. Being a person of your word, saying I'm going to make a commitment to doing this, and then doing it and showing up, extracting what you can, and then applying what you learn. And then making that yours will be what gets you the kind of incredible results that you really want to have, and that will transform you so that you get the results that you deserve. To dabble won't get you anything. If you go to a buffet and all you do is take little tiny pieces, that's tasty, but you don't actually sit down and have a meal. It's nice, you taste it, but you want to take it, you want to digest it, and you want to eliminate what isn't useful, and then use what's good to be nutrition for you, the fuel for you to get the things that you want. So we'll see you next week. Is there anything closing here? Become consistently inconsistent by doing things differently within a reasonable parameter. Well, that's one way of thinking about it. If you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. If that's leading you to the results that you want, then keep doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't throw out everything. You throw out what does it. You eliminate. You rechannel your energy for those things that are not getting you what you want. So if you find yourself angry a lot, and anger is useful sometimes. It's appropriate to be angry. It's good to be mad. You can be an advocate for people. You can be an advocate for yourself by saying, "Hey, I'm not going to stand for this." But if that's the only thing you can do, and it's not getting you the successes and what you desire, then it's time to learn other ways of being. So if what you're doing isn't working, if getting angry isn't getting you closer, like some people, they can say, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the bathroom is?" And the person goes, "Okay," and go, "Bathroom." You go, "No, I'm laying base," and they go, "Bathroom, bathroom." It doesn't get them what they want by yelling. Then they keep saying the same thing over and over again. Bathroom, bathroom, bathroom. They have to change at some point. Maybe they have to demonstrate, but they have to do something different. If the communication isn't getting you what you want, you have to change your communication. You either have, okay, I'm not going to tell you what you have to change. You just have to do it differently. If it's getting you what you want, then everything. Thank you Everything was great. Looking forward to next week. That's very cool. Thanks, Sonny. I'm so glad that you're here. And encourage the other people who didn't show up to show up. That's something you can help me with. Tell everybody about the book that's coming out, and feel free to explore the other programs and the Attitude Activator and Mind Design. Just take a look at them and see what's there. But really dive into this material. And while we're together and while we're here, and we're going to do a number, at least 4 of these Q&As or sessions, additional sessions, take advantage of it and take advantage of the support group. All right. Well, I have had a fabulous time, and would love anyone who's there to say bye and wave or cross your legs and look uncomfortable. Okay. I don't get it, Sharon, but okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's interesting. Cross your legs. Look. Food for thought. Cheers, Mark. Appreciate it. Tony, thank you. Sonny, thank you. And bye from the UK. Paul, thanks. Awesome, Beth. Cheers. Thank you, Beth. Tony, thank you. Are there 2 Tonys? Oh, that's awesome. Or is it one Tony saying thank you twice? Wayne, you're welcome. Sharon, oh, bathroom time. Yeah, indeed. Anyway, I appreciate everybody here. I'll see you next time. I'll see you in the support group. Rinchu, thank you. So glad you're here. And it's been my honor, and it's been my privilege to be able to meet with you. It really has. I'm really happy. William? Well, you will you will take time to process it, William. Bye, Al. You will take it. Take time. I mean, it's like don't try and chew it too fast. Chew it like you would a really delicious meal. Savor it. Linger with it. And as you repeatedly review or listen to it, you will process it. But good. I'm glad you're processing. And Tony from the UK. Very cool. Linda, awesome. Sharon, have a great night too. Francis, I will see you next week. Thanks for being here. All right, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye. And you've been fabulous. Make your dreams come true. Do the manifestation challenge. Figure out what it is you want. Report back to me next week in this session in the webinar what you've made happen. And then, of course, like I said, the 3 times uplift and share daily in the support group is something you can do for other people that will help you ultimately put into practice a lot of these different things. So I thank you, and namaste.